So what is the D750 like if there isn't a great deal of light around?
Hello and welcome to the Dennis Bloodnok Channel.
What is it like shooting with the D750 in low light? Hello YouTubers, welcome back to the Dennis Bloodnok Channel. Now, right now, I am in the Bloodnok studio and I have 4 studio lights covering me. There is my main light just slightly above me and to my left, the most powerful light pointing down on me. Just off to my right there is another quite powerful studio light, another one off to my left, and then there's one behind me providing a bit of light and separation on the background. What would happen if there was a bit less light? Right now we are running on an ISO of 100. So I'm going to reduce the light. I'm going to switch off the main light and the backlight. So there we are, still shooting at ISO 100, at shooting 1080p at 50 frames per second and a shutter speed of 1/50th of a second. If you are wondering why I always shoot at 50 frames per second, 50p, there is a link at the top of the screen to a video where I explain my use of 50p, 50 frames per second. Now, whilst I am still visible, the quality of the video, given the low light, the quality of the video is certainly reduced. So the first thing we can change is, of course, to increase the ISO. So here we are now at an ISO of 400. A reasonably clean image, maybe a little bit of noise creeping in, but certainly still an acceptable image. Next, we move to an ISO of 500. Still a reasonable quality image, and certainly I think that I am more visible, I am more in view. And now, still retaining the 24 to 124mm f4 constant aperture lens, we are at an ISO of 800. Of course, the other thing to consider is what happens if there was even less light, and also what are the alternatives to increasing the ISO. And so, by the magic of video, I'm going to switch all of the lights off and change just to the 50-watt light bulb, which usually lights this room. Now, reduced to the 50-watt light bulb, running the 24 to 120mm f4 lens at an ISO of 100, the picture isn't too great. One of the first things we can try, given that there isn't a great deal of light, is to switch to another lens, in this case my nifty 50 f1.4, which will allow in more of what little light there is. And so here we are, shooting with the nifty 50 f1.4G lens, all the way wide open to f1.4, but with the only lighting from this 50-watt light bulb, which is the regular lighting for this room. Certainly quite an improvement in lighting and image quality terms in comparison to the 24 to 120mm f4 constant aperture lens. But ultimately, when low light issues are concerned, I think the best idea, the best of both worlds, is probably to use a little more ISO, we are now at ISO 400, in conjunction with the wider aperture lens, but not quite shooting that wide aperture lens at maximum aperture. Right now we are at f2, and as I say, ISO of 400, and I think this is the happy medium, the best of both worlds. Now, of course, the final question to be answered in this video, given the fact that we are now at an ISO of 400 and we are using the nifty 50 lens but at f1.2, what happens if we went to really low light, if we switched this 50 watt light bulb off as well? Well, initially that takes us to this. So let's change the ISO. This is shooting at ISO 2500, and now we have moved on to an ISO of 4000, and now finally an ISO of 8000. Well, I think that that part of the test proves that even when shooting at f2, when there is literally more or less zero light around, and if you move the ISO up to 4000 or even 8000, the video that you're going to get is pretty awful. But at that level of lighting, I'd probably be either A, bringing in more lights, or B, maybe not shooting at all. But it was worth a try. Anyway, many thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe, and please click that bell icon to keep up to date with the latest developments on the Dennis Bloodnok channel. Above us there is a link to my series of videos on the actual lighting equipment that I use in my studio, and furthermore there is now a link to part 1 of my Nikon D750 to Samsung NX10 comparison. That's around the top of the page, right at the top of the screen right now. Thank you.